when I got back off holiday and my dad was in hospital, I shot back to see him, see how he's getting on, and hospitals are depressing places, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really, like, God, you know, even if you're not that ill, it makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
Because it's really, like, drags you down. There's people walking around moaning, you know.
You, mainly.
Yeah. Nurses.
And, my dad was
political.
like...
Yeah.
High five.
Satire.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I would like to be
Because
the
they don't get
NHS.
paid enough and all that, and they do, like...
No, well, that's...
Tony
what I mean.
Blair, are you listening?
I don't want to look like I'm moaning about the people working, because they all work really hard.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah.
But it's just
God bless
the hard depressing places.
High five.
Nice one,
Go
nice
on.
one.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm sat there, and my dad's getting fed up. And,
Is that because you're visiting?
just, he's quite an active bloke, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's got to
like
stay in bed, and,
yeah.
you know, it's like sit down, stop moving about, and all this. So he's sat there, and there's an old woman in the bed next door, right? And, she's in a bad way anyway.
Yeah.
Right. She must have been, I'd say she looked about 98 or something like that.
Okay, good.
Right. Now, I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was always constantly moaning, and you could see that the nurses were trying their best to keep her happy, and she wasn't having any of it. And, you know, she was moaning because her hands had gone blue.
Well, that is a worry, to be honest.
Well, it's not, because she's 98.
Is that what happens?
But why doesn't the doctor, if I was a doctor, and I'm not one, but...
No, Carl, don't be modest. Are you a doctor? Yes or no?
but if I was
think he's
there-
let it slip. Are you, Carl, are you a doctor?
No, listen.
Look me in the eye.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
So this
Carl-
woman had blue hands. Had
She
she
had-
seen a spacecraft?
right. So,
Go on.
she had blue hands. Now, she's 98. If I was a doctor, I'd be
No,
thinking,
she's not 98. You said earlier on she looked about 98. So you're making that up?
It's just shifted from
98.
speculation to fact.
Absolute fact now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, she's 98.
It is fact now.
There's a 100-year-old woman.
Yeah, go on, yeah.
If I was a doctor, I'd be thinking,
You're not, are you? You honestly, you
How did I con them? How did I get away with this?
I'd be thinking,
Right.
she's 98, she hasn't got long left, why not just let her be at home and be happy in
With
her
her blue
own,
hands,
in her own
yeah.
space,
Yeah.
you know, and let her have a nice life, whatever's left.
Because she may hurt herself, so she may have falls. Some people have to go in there for their own protection. She might not have immediate
More
family.
than that, she may not have been dragged in against her will.
No,
She may
no.
have come to hospital because she was worried
Yeah.
about her blue hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I was talking to Ricky, he said, oh, what it would have been is, probably a bit of, did you say it's rheumatism or something?
No, I said a blueness can be through lack of circulation.
Right. So, just...
And
so,
I'm definitely
you've
not a
got,
doctor.
You've got blue hands, bad circulation, we're going to send you home, we'll give you a Rubik's Cube, play around with that with your hands, get the blood...
Rubik's Cube!
Get the blood pumping,
Yeah.
and don't worry, I don't say, oh, it's really bad, just think she's 98, let her have a nice rest of the life.
Yeah.
But instead, she was there, and the annoying thing was, and they do this with a lot of people in hospital, they pump you with drugs, try to sort it out. They don't, you know, there's probably a bit of guesswork going on. Maybe. A little bit.
Not as much as you, but go on.
Right? And because of that, they sort of break wind a lot. So I'm sat there with my dad talking.
Whoa.
Drugs do that, Steve. I'm sure if there's a doctor listening or a nurse, they will clarify
Right.
that if they pump you with all sorts of stuff, it wants to come out.
Right.
So you're sat there having a serious chat. It's a quiet hospital. The woman next door with the blue hands suddenly starts seeping gas, right? I start laughing. Because if there's one thing that makes you laugh, it's that, innit?
It's a 98-year-old woman with blue hands fine.
So you try to hold it in because it's a really quiet hospital, and it'd be obvious that that I was laughing at, and I didn't want to be mean, but it was funny. And then it got me talking about my auntie, because my auntie Nora, she same thing, pumped her with loads of drugs. She used to a cabinet next to the bed is like boots. She's got loads of stuff, right, for all sorts of stuff. And I mean, she's not that old, but she's on loads of stuff, right?
She's
and
a bit coked up, is she? Smack?
She called up my mum once, and
Yeah, you told us this. Go on, tell it again.
and she said, "Oh, how you doing?" and that. She said, "All right." Bit worried though. My mum said, "Wow, what's up?" She said, "I've been breaking wind." So she goes, "Well, you know." She says, "No, but this one is going on and on and on." And she was like, she was like, what do you say? What's like passing wind, farting for 5 minutes. one thing. Not like, you know, trumping and then nothing.
Yeah.
Continuous.
Continuous drone of a fart.
Yeah.
I don't think she had. How big was she? She must be the size of a barn.
No, she's not that big. She's, you know, she's good for her age.
No,
Quite
but I
slim
mean,
and that, quite slim.
no,
It's
but
just-
fighting for 5 minutes. Where's all the gas? Was she circular breathing? Was she sucking it in with her mouth?
It was just, I don't know that much about it. But she called up my mum. About 2.5 minutes in,
Could you hear it in the background?
2.5 minutes in!
2.5 minutes in, she called my mum up, and it went on for a further 2.5 minutes.
Oh.
And she just stayed on the phone, did she?
Where
On the
was-
phone, going,
well-
can you hear that?
Well,
Did she hold the phone next to her arse? Listen to that.
She was off the
I'm
ground.
trying to work a tune down.
she was actually hovering. She was 4
Yeah.
foot off the ground
Yeah.
when they found her, the ambulance
Yeah,
men.
the cat's dead.
Don't light a match! Don't light that cigarette!
Yeah, it's like that advert. The kids come home from school, switch on the lights.
Yeah. There they see Granny
Yeah.
hovering, turn the light on.
Be careful if you have an elderly woman at home.
Yeah. Drugs make you fart.
so that's what I'm saying, you know, just let these people...
What are you saying? No, wait a minute, what are you saying?
I'm saying let people enjoy the life they've got left.
No, you're not. You're saying don't put them in hospital, leave them at home to die.
No, I'm not.
Give them a Rubik's Cube and let them die.
I'll tell
That's what you're
something-
saying.
Yeah, I'll tell you something now, right? Steve,
Right.
I'll tell you something. I didn't want to do it because it'd bring the show down. But she did die.
Who, the blue-handed lady?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I said to my dad, how's the, woman next door?
How's
She said,
Farty?
oh, she went last night. They've got an old fella in there now.
God.
So, there you go. So, wouldn't it have been better to leave her at home, where her friends and family can call and speak to her, even nip-dep round if they want, you know, with a cat, I imagine.
No, it's definitely a cat now. What's that cat's called, that you imagine?
Probably, I'm seeing like a big ginger one, so I don't know, something like, I don't know, maybe ginger, or whatever. Maybe I had a budgie. But that's what I'm saying, just let him enjoy this life, because dying in hospital, I wouldn't like to do it. If I went to the doctors and they said, you haven't got long life left, I'd say, well, I'll stay at home.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm getting at,
Yeah.
right? If you can't do anything for them, let them enjoy the life.
Right, one more chance. What's happened in the last couple of weeks? Just one more chance to... What have you seen in the last couple of weeks?
Well, like I say, I don't really watch the news and that, so
Right.
I can't tell them about that. But in a way, I think they're better off not knowing. I think that's the only good thing about being out there, isn't it? Not knowing about the bad stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I can't help them there.
They don't need to look at the weather, do they?
No, not enough. No. But tell you about the Pope and that.
Yeah, pretty extensive.
What about the EU constitution and the no votes? What do you make of that? What are your views?
What's the problem there?
Oh, this isn't
No, but it's better- it's
this
better
isn't
not knowing.
broadcasting
It's
now,
better
is
not
it? This is
knowing.
nothing. Come up with something.
Well, the fat
Talk.
baby then, the fat baby that they found, that was on the telly.
Right. Well, what was that?
It's just a little fat baby. That,
Oh, for
I don't know what, it's just a little fat kid and that.
what? Tell what?
It was
What
on
is?
the telly, it was on the telly and
But
that.
what was on the telly? You just said fat baby, fat baby, fat baby, fat baby on telly, fat baby on telly. Do you meant to be telling them what's happened in the world? Tell me about the fat baby on telly.
It's just, they've found some, there's this illness called Momo, right? And, they've just got this woman had a kid. It's really sad, it was on Channel 4 and that, right? And, kid's born.
You sure it wasn't Jimmy Carr?
Kid's born and that, right?
Momo?
It's called Momo,
Isn't that
yeah.
that Black Music Award?
No, right, little fat baby and that, and there's only 3 of them in the world. These little fat babies,
Right.
and
So
one of them,
they're in danger.
How fat? You're not telling what do you mean? How fat are they?
6 stone it was only 2. And there's 3 of them in the world, and there was this one, and there was one in Brazil.
Are they like
No.
endangered? Is that the problem? Because there's only 3 of them in the world.
I don't
Are we
know.
worried? This is like a conservation campaign.
Hunted for their flesh.
No, it's sad. If you, I know, it's
You should laugh,
but,
but
if
you
you've
could make
seen
an
it, you'd
interesting
go, oh, it's a
comeback.
bit sad and that. See, there's always other things going on in my mind when I'm in that pub quiz. For me, it's just a little bit of fun.
Sure.
It's a night out. Do you know what I mean? Suzanne enjoys it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a get-together. We have a chat beforehand.
Yeah.
We have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But there was other things on my mind.
What were you
Carl,
thinking?
I could do that here. I don't have to lose a tenner.
Wait, what were you thinking during the quiz then, when the questions were coming out? What were you thinking of?
Well, what it was, right, just before the quiz started, I had to go to the toilet, right, because the rule is, right, people who don't go to it, once it starts, phones off,
Oh, yeah,
no
you
more
can't leave
toilet.
the room,
They
yeah.
take it dead serious, don't they, right?
Yeah.
So, I went to the toilet. Now, I'm not being out of order here, it just got me thinking, right? I went to the toilet. The gay fella in there, right?
There was a gay fella in there.
Gay fella in the toilet. Now,
How could you tell?
How did you know?
just typical, you know, everything about it, right?
Everything about it, right, yeah.
Oh.
What,
Just
large
like-
handlebar moustache,
What-
leather
what-
cap.
Butt plugs, amyl nitrate. Could I just say that these views do not reflect the views of the management of XFM or me and Steve.
Or
Go on,
most
Carl.
of the people in this country.
Go on, Carl. What's your problem?
Yeah, but this is what I'm worried about, really. But this is why I only got Danny Minogue right. Right? Because this was floating around my mind. Went
She's
to
a
the
big
toilet.
gal icon,
Now,
isn't she?
going to the toilet, they have like men's cubicle and they have women's cubicle.
Yeah.
now,
Without sounding out of order, is it wrong for me to think gay men should have their own little cubicle?
Go in.
They should have their own. Well, not cubicle. You mean an actual toilet, I
Yeah.
suppose.
When I was at the urinal,
Yeah.
normally, you know, there's a fella there, and then you go, all right, and there's no pressure. But I couldn't go. I was thinking, should I wait? If I go into the toilet, it'll look obvious.
Yeah.
I had loads of pressure, and
But
this was
what were you
going on.
worried
I'm so
about?
sorry.
What were
I'm
you
so
concerned
sorry,
about?
Viewers. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
it's like, right, listen, when I was a kid, right, and it's alright for you to go into women's toilets when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's a bit cute,
Yeah.
right, as long as you're not, like, over 15 or something, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, I went into a toilet, and women, when they use their little cubicles, they don't shut the door. Some of them just sit down on the toilet,
Yeah.
right, and you see everything, and, no, seriously, that's probably one of the first times I saw, like, a woman.
Yeah.
That, right, and my Auntie Nora when she was staying over.
What happened with your Auntie Nora?
She was, she's into wearing caftans.
Into wearing what?
You know, caftans.
Oh, yeah.
What are caftans?
Big, bellowy sort of dresses.
Right, right.
And, yeah, I used to sit on the floor at home in front of the telly.
Sure.
She was on the chair behind.
Yeah.
She did a bit of a, sort of a Sharon Stone scene.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
There was no underwear.
No.
What age were you?
What was it like?
What age were you?
It was like a ripped tennis ball. So.
What? Right, we're off air. We're off air. Either that or put us in for the Sonys.
Tell us about this monkey, Carl.
You're gonna love this one, Steve,
Go on.
right? Yeah, so last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy, right?
No.
Leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened, he lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's
Anyway,
what happened. That's what happened.
looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that.
Yeah.
Came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo,
Oh, dear.
right? So,
Trouble's brewing.
loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people, you're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So, anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes.
Well,
They're dangerous.
what do you mean? What type was it? What, do you
Just
mean it was
let
a
him tell the
Was
story.
it a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp, yeah. Yeah, it
I
was a
don't
chimp.
even know, so
It was
that's
a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a
Okay.
chimp. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does
So
it?
he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
did they
and
go on
there's-
holiday together?
Well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off
pool together.
starts off just checking each other out and, you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, this goes on for a while. Is, you know, they're getting on well on that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright,
Oh, God.
Yeah.
right? So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you. So he thinks he could live at home with me, this,
Yeah.
because we're getting on the storm,
Yeah.
right? So he takes him home, and before
Is
you
this the
know it,
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried, because he's already imitating him and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
right? So
Go on.
anyway, so it's moving in, and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. Piggy tips.
As a it finishes the day off with
Oh, dear.
Finishes the day off with what?
It
With a
doesn't
little
have him
brandy.
move a piano at one point, does
He
he?
finishes the day off with a little brandy.
Yeah.
What, he pours himself. Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Carl. You're
Listen,
a maniac,
listen,
mate.
no, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of, I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is hairless, right? Apart from his head, right? So he's got a nice.
So it's the opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah,
this is what
but
I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right?
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if
How
it's
did it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
Alright,
can
well,
see if
okay,
I've gone
keep
wrong.
going.
So anyway, so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the
rubbish.
zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying.
Well,
he's
it gets
got his
to a
other
point when he
chipmates
says
round.
there's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me. I'm fascinated.
it's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary. Carl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand. Only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, Steve.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but-
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well hung.
So
Listen.
what about that?
What do you mean? What about it, Carl? It's obviously not true. It's obviously not true.
This wasn't on the internet. This was in a book. So it's not a quick joke and just put it on a website. This is in a book.
I don't understand how. The
I
monkey-
love the fact he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy.
Exactly.
And he, that
What
is-
was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing,
I
Carl?
love the fact that.
He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing Trivia Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Carl, play a record.
Right.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you in?
When you were talking just now about like the gay stuff,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if you saw the thing the other week about the fella who's on that quiz show.
Oh.
Sort of
Oh, right, okay.
gay
Who?
fella, straight, sort of man, woman. They-
What are you talking about? Tell me what did you see? Tell me what you saw.
It's
This is like a kid come running in, and he's seeing something frightening. Could be an alien, could be a ghost, could be a paedophile, and you've got to get exactly what actually saw out of him. Right, what did you actually see?
It's just this fella who's a woman.
Right. Right, okay, right, try and talk like a human being. Right.
It's a quiz show that's coming on the telly, and it's this woman.
Right, is it a fella who's a woman, or is it a woman?
Bit of both. That's why I'm talking about it.
But what do you mean? Is it a pre-op? Is it a transsexual, a transvestite? Is it a lady boy? Is it an hermaphrodite? What is
I'll tell
it?
you about it.
Well, tell me.
I'm telling you. It's a woman. Well, it's a man.
Oh,
No,
forget
listen,
it.
listen.
Play a record.
No, listen.
come on.
What?
It is a man. He is a man. Well,
Oh, Christ's sake!
it's a TV program where they've got this man who's
Transvestite or television?
It is a transvestite, yeah.
So-
But the problem is, I'll tell you, just because you don't know about it, the program is...
I don't know, I still don't know about it. I don't know anything about it, still. I don't know. It's a woman, man, woman, TV program, look, TV.
No, it's a man who is now sort of half a woman. And...
A man who is now half a woman!
no, well, this is what's weird about it. He's got the top half, but not the bottom half.
What do you
sorted
mean? He's
out.
got breasts and a wig? But he's still got his boys downstairs. He's
Why
got,
do you do that?
his caps and the boys
What
are
do you do
still
that
there
for?
in his wife fronts.
Why is
But
that?
upstairs, he's got a lovely pair of dumplings.
Why do that?
Well, he's halfway through.
But why not get it all done in one go?
Maybe he couldn't afford it.
Well, wait until you've got all the money. That just looks a mess. And who's he pleasing there?
Well, he wakes up in the morning and
everyone.
pleases himself. He can't believe his luck. He doesn't know where to start.
No, but what I don't understand, I mean, you know, I don't want to see him...
Well, can I just
see him
finish that
ignorant.
sentence? What you don't understand is just about everything.
Yeah.
Right, what...
I find it weird, right? I sort of get... I understand the gay thing, right? But...
Do you? What do you mean?
Well, you know, I know...
Well, tell me the gay thing. Explain the gay
I
thing.
just know if you're a fella, you like men. I don't know much more than that.
What do you mean you don't know?
But what I mean is, with a transvestite, what's going on there? What do they want?
Now, transvestite is a cross-dresser.
See, I don't get that either. Because...
You mean a transsexual?
That's a man who likes to dress in women's clothing. It's not necessarily, they're not necessarily gay.
They're not
or straight
gay. They're
or
often
anything.
not gay.
They just happen to like wearing women's
Those clothes, aren't yeah.
But then why not wear women's clothes that could be seen as a bloke's, like Suzanne wears jeans?
No, but they,
Just
but that's
buy
the
women's
thing.
jeans.
But that's their problem, is it? They like being seen as a woman. They like being seen as a woman. It's not just that it's more comfortable, or they'd wear a kilt. They like being seen as a woman. They feel more comfortable.
Alright, and what's the deal with this fella who's got
We don't know
both?
who this fella is.
No. We don't know this man who's half a woman.
He's called Miriam.
Oh, that's helps.
yeah. Brilliant. I love this scientific basis.
No, I
So
think-
all he's done, he's had the tits done, he's probably had the hormones, probably lived as a woman for a while. The last step, because you can probably reverse the breasts anyway, because they're probably implants and hormonal things, and whereas you chop your knob and boys off, that's, you know, you come back the next day and go, sorry, I didn't mean that, I wanted my ears pierced. It's a bit more of a bigger operation to put them back. So doctors are probably making sure that he's just
Surely
absolutely...
if you've had the top half done, you're not going to go back on what you've said.
But no, what's the top half being done? I could get you breast implants, give you a bit of hormonal treatment.
Now
and
that
you
would
could
be a great idea for next week.
and you could reverse it. What you can't do is grow a knob back.
Well, you can. Last week you were talking about growing one on your arm.
Yeah.
We've done that.
We covered that, so that is possible. But the thing is, the truth of it is, I think I do know about this story. I think it was a television programme called There's Something About Miriam. The conceit of which was that this pre-op transsexual...
So I guessed that right, yeah.
Was masquerading as a woman.
Right.
And various blokes, who didn't realise that this was a man, had to
I've heard
try
about
and
this.
seduce her. And when they found out that it was actually a bloke, and a lot of them had kissed
agree.
her, they refused to let it be shown.
I
and there was a big
agree though.
outrage and so on.
That's just terrible.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it's
just
absurd.
But I mean, you know, that's awful. I hated that.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Let's do Rockbusters.
Right,
Email only, of course.
Yeah, yeah. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you know the answer. Right, first one. Bit of a cryptic clue if you haven't heard it before.
Well, not cryptically wrong. What is Carl thinking?
If you go into France by boat, I'd get your fags on there because it's a lot cheaper.
Imagine Bob Holness. Sorry, we're out of time. Sorry, your minute's up. You've won nothing. I was reading that question out.
Sorry,
Right.
so what's the...
Right, let's do it again, and I want it to be exactly the same, word perfect. I bet you it will change all over the place. It'll be different. He's lost it.
Go to France, buy yourself a boat
Yeah.
with the fags are cheaper.
Okay, fingers on the buzzers. You've only got 10 seconds to win the gold one. Okay, first up. Here, I'll tell you what, no, seriously, if you're thinking of going to France, well don't, you know, because go on the ferry, get the fags there, because it's cheaper. Go on.
Right, so that one again. If you want to buy some fags, you're going over to France on a boat, get them on there because you'll save a few quid. BF.
BF.
Right? BF.
Okay.
Right, the second one. This little foreign cafe's growing its own steak.
This little foreign cafe is growing its own steak.
Yeah. This little foreign cafe's growing its own steak.
Go on.
D.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
And the last one,
Is that part of it?
hang on.
He's the best, isn't he? He's the best.
The Jamaican fella might have screamed this on the Titanic.
What?
The Jamaican fellow might have screamed to this on the Titanic.
Yeah.
What's it start with?
It's CD, that one.
Jamaican fellow might have screamed this on the Titanic. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Please don't phone in. If you can get those, we just don't want to talk to you.
We'll get Rockbusters out of the way. Have we got a winner?
Yeah, come on then. See, it worries me that we've had very few entries. I think that even your mental fans aren't getting these, which is really worrying. They must be terrible clues this week.
Alright, well...
Has anyone got on right, Steve?
I think there's just one guy, yeah, who I suspect has won in the past. but
Well,
there we are.
so what?
Right, the first one. If you go out of France by boat, you might as well buy your fags when you're on that, because you'll get them a lot cheaper.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yeah.
BF,
Yeah.
buy it ferry. Right? That's like,
What?
buy on ferry.
What?
Buy on
What's
ferry.
Brian Ferry? What's that? Is that a band?
What?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry? What's that got to do with buying on a ferry, though?
Just because it's quite close to it. Buy on, buy on ferry.
What?
Buy on ferry.
Sorry, what?
That's the
What's your
first one.
first language?
The second one.
That's rubbish. That doesn't count.
No, of course not.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry, buy on ferry.
There's this little foreign cafe.
Yeah.
It's growing its own steak. That's Delamitri. The third one.
What? Sorry, what? What is that? What is that? Delamitri.
Delhi is a little foreign cafe.
Yeah?
A meat tree and that.
A meat tree! A meat tree! What were the initials for that?
Just D for that.
Just D for that?
Yeah.
So not DA?
So you didn't even give him a chance to get the group.
Oh, they got it.
Well, no.
No, they didn't. Right, it's the end. Go on, right. Go on.
Delhi meat tree?
Deli meat tree. One word. D. Or any letter.
They're growing their own meat.
M's in it. Go on. Okay, so Bayern, I love Bayern Ferry. And
Can I just point out, Rick-
Oxymusic was brilliant.
Can I just-
I love Oxymusic. Go on.
Can I just point out, Rick, that we've had
David Bowie?
Delhi meat tree.
Yeah.
I don't see why necessarily Aidan, who emailed in, why he doesn't get to win, because he emailed in dire steaks. Seems to me just as valid, as far as I can tell, but
Yeah.
Delhi meat tree it is.
And the last one, if there was a Jamaican fella on the Titanic.
I'm looking forward to this. With a little bit of fear.
Jamaican fella, if he was on the Titanic, he probably would have screamed this.
Yeah.
That's Christ de Berg.
Oh! I don't know what to do. Stunning.
So who's the winner?
I'm not going to give it to anyone. I just don't... I
So
think-
what's the Jamaican bit got to do with it?
Just the D. Just Christ de Berg.
Say it again.
No, I think they've worked it out now.
What's got to say it again?
Christ de Berg.
And who's that?
What?
Who's that?
Who's what?
Who's Christ de Berg?
Chris de Berg. Who's the winner, Steve?
do you know what? I'm going to give it to
So-
Aidan. Because he just treated you with nothing but contempt. Steve Martin emailed in again. He got the first two, and then the last one he just emailed, I neither know nor care about this answer. I'm tempted to give him each one.
Do you know what you've done there, don't you?
Go on.
You've put the nail in the coffin of Rockbusters. I warned you for 3 weeks, and you sort of bucked your ideas up for a little while. But Christ de
Those
Berg,
are the worst you've ever done.
the worst. Delimitri. So and didn't just put D, and then Bayern Ferry. Bayern Ferry. Bayern Ferry.
So, is that it then? Aren't we doing it
Play a
anymore?
record.
Aren't we doing it anymore?
I'm ashamed.
You're an idiot.
Are we doing it anymore?
I'm just going to keep saying you're an idiot.
Play a
Are we
record.
doing
Carl,
it
have
anymore?
you learnt nothing from Dr. Fox?
Yeah.
That's not a Sony out the window.
Huh?
Aren't we doing it anymore?
What, you need to start working on it now, because they're so good, you need to start working now for next Saturday.
Aren't we doing it anymore?
Just, I don't know.
Aren't we doing it?
What's weird about it? What's strange about an octopus with all the things that could...
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A dog has got human eyes. If a jellyfish had a pair of eyes like ours, I probably wouldn't worry about him that much. But like I said to you, it's that way that they haven't got eyes, they're floating about. I can handle some fish. They look like us. They've got eyes. You can make eye-to-eye contact with them. A jellyfish, what are you looking at? It's a snidey thing, like I've said to you. You can see a lot in eyes. Do you know what I mean? You say, don't trust him. Why? It's his eyes. Jellyfish haven't even got any, and I don't trust them. Whereas if it had them, maybe there'd be the odd one that I'd go, oh, that one's all right.
Okay, Carl, I'm just going to throw an animal at you. Tell me how weird it is what bits annoy you, how you change it. Okay? A crab.
How would I change it?
Yeah. Does it annoy you? Do you think it's weird?
They are weird, but they're at that size where they can get away with it.
Yeah, it suits them. Okay, good.
Would I change anything? In a way, you know, what you're saying about things not working, he can't walk forwards. So why hasn't something happened? Why haven't they said, you know what, these arms are too clumsy. We need to have them so they can slot away easier, and we can pull them out when we need them, instead of clumping around with them. Because they do struggle. You see them struggling with their arms. Yet they're still here, they're still doing that, they're still designed that way.
What's the weirdest animal? So you think the octopus is the weirdest animal on Earth?
Yeah. In terms of design and everything, and if you lined everything up, say if I'd come from another planet, and everything was lined up in a row, and they said, right, we're going to give you a crash course in what's knocking about on this planet.
Yeah.
And you go, right, go on then. And they go, this is man, here's woman, here's a dog, here's a cat, here's an octopus, here's a... I go, hang on a minute, what is this?